Guys, welcome, and we're going to be looking at the 2014 Japanese comedy drama, Wood Job. And this is directed by Shinobu Yaguchi and stars Shoto Samatani, Masami Nagasawa, Hideaki Ito, Meo Aso, and Ken Mitsuishi. And this is a very beautiful film. It's directed by Shinobu Yaguchi, and if you don't know, I've looked at one of his other films called Water Boys, and I'll put a link to that above. I really like this guy's style of directing and just the stories he tells. He's got this recurring theme throughout all of his movies where he takes a character or characters from zero to hero. And in this movie, he takes a kid who's just fresh out of high school and wants to make something of himself, so he goes into the woods to become a lumberjack. And he has to prove to himself that he belongs there and the other lumberjacks there that he belongs there. And you know, without ruining anything, because it's a zero to hero movie, he does. And it's a very beautiful film, especially where it's shot out in the Japanese woods. That is just beautiful to behold. And you know, it's got a little bit of Japanese culture sort of mixed in there, and though I think it's fictional, it's still very cool. So without further ado, let's check it out. Wood Job kicks off in urban Japan. Yuki Hirano, played by Shoto Samatani, has just learnt he's failed to pass his university entrance exams and will have to wait another year to try again. Lost and with a feeling of being left behind, Yuki discovers a brochure to join a one-year forestry training program and decides to take the big leap from the city into the woods based on seeing an attractive young woman on the promotional leaflet he hopes to meet. However, in his induction into the forestry program, Yuki soon discovers he was misled.
何か質問ある人は
それでここに写ってる人はどこにいるんですか？
これここ見て
Already there, he attempts to learn to become a lumberjack, but sadly, he sucks at it. Not cut out for it physically or mentally, he tries to slip away, and during his getaway, crosses paths with the girl on the promotional leaflet, Naoki Ishii, played by Masami Nagasawa, who dismisses his actions and doesn't want anything to do with him.
興味本位で来ただけやったらさっさと帰ってくれへん。あんたみたいなチャラチャラしたんが無理して就職してもどうせ1週間も続かんとみんな辞めてくんやから。そんなんが一番迷惑なんや。
Suddenly inspired to prove something of himself and prove Naoki wrong, Yuki sticks out basic training and graduates to the next stage of his forestry program and goes to work up in the mountains in Nakamura, the toughest forestry district. Here, Yuki is teamed up with Yoki, played by Hideaki Ito, a hard-working and dedicated lumberjack who doesn't think much of Yuki. Over the next 10 to 11 months, Yuki begins to discover himself, the forest, and builds an appreciation between the work he does and its impact and role it plays in society. Over this time, he also finds himself gradually accepted as a lumberjack, as one of their own by the Nakamura people.
小引きは一生飯たらふく食って牛の寝たようないびかくよ
And it also comes to light why he chose to work in Nakamura, as we see Yuki try to court Naoki, who lives there. Though, with only 300 days to work there, will Yuki's generally positive experiences be enough to make him stay in Nakamura, or return to his city life? So as I said before, this is a drama comedy, and that's sort of Shinobu Yaguchi's style. But the way I like to sort of classify his movies are as feel-good movies which incorporate effective humor and give you a little insight into the Japanese way of life. And in this movie, they give you a little insight into the Japanese forestry industry. And I loved it. And I really like Shoto and Hideaki's performances in this movie. I really like how Hideaki kept picking on Shoto, but it was sort of a big brotherly love, and you knew that he had Shoto's best interests in mind. And the music in this movie, it's sort of an Irish-Scottish infusion. It gets you a little bit emotional, but it's very beautiful music, and I quite enjoyed the main theme song by Mai Hirasawa called Happiest Fool. That's definitely one to check out. And if you walk away from this movie, aside from feeling, that was entertaining, there's also a little message in there about appreciating and respecting nature. And I loved how the forestry workers pray to the forest or show the respect by offering food and drink to the forest in hope the forest will help and look after them, be it when a child goes astray into the forest and she helps them find him, or a festival to promote fertility. And though the festival is obviously fictional, I love how this movie gives you a peek, like in the movie Departures, into Japanese culture and gives you a taste of Japan away from the big city lights and out in the beautiful countryside. So guys, this definitely gets a thumbs up for me. And let me know what you think about this movie in the comments below. And as always guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm Paddy McManus, and press that subscribe button below to support me.